What's going on, guys? It's Deathmonkey. Today we're going to be talking about some things rather interesting concerning Chapter 4 Season 4 as well as a potential theory for Chapter 5. Now, over the last few days or so we received numerous teasers coming from Fortnite's official social media. And this screenshot, as you're currently seeing in game, showing the words August 25, which is going to be the very start date of the next season. That's just under a week's time from now. And there's a message in the bottom left which reads, "Are you in?" Now, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, there's been other messages coming from other Fortnite international social medias which come up with rather interesting other messages which translate into other phrases. If I do manage to find any of those, I will annotate on screen, but that's really interesting. But one thing I've noticed after uploading one of my recent uploads is if you actually change the brightness on this specific image, which I will see if I can get that looked into right now. So all you need to do, I'm just currently in Photoshop at the moment, and I'm just going to adjust this image. So let's see if I can remember which one it is. And if I just change the brightness like so, and if I zoom in on this image, where's my zoom at? I shall okay that. If I zoom in on this image, if you look very carefully, you can actually make out some what appears to be red stars, or a constellation of red stars in the A and the U of August, and I think there's a few more in the T of August and the 2 and the 5. So it looks like maybe something to do with space or a potential blood moon coming to the islands. That's really interesting there. Also, over the last 24 hours, there's been an update with the apparatus, whatever you want to call it, the telescope that's currently lit up and activated in the sky. You can see we're currently in, what if I'm not mistaken, stage 5 of this rather interesting little mini event that's currently going on at the moment. So I believe we've got maybe another 1-2 stages coming. I'm guessing it's going to end up when the actual moon that's currently spiraling in the sky is going to hit the outermost point in the bottom left corner of the spiral there. So that's really interesting. Now, basically, I have done a little bit of research into the actual Greek code names that were given for the previous chapter maps in Fortnite. So if you think back here, guys, the chapter 1 map, which actually went by the code name Athena, if you remember correctly, and chapter 2, and basically Athena came from Greek mythology, and Athena, as far as I understand it, was known to be basically training alone, as basically I don't think she was getting on with many of the others. So basically she decided to train alone, and that makes perfect sense when you think about it, because chapter 1 map, there was no other maps around that. So that's really interesting. And obviously when we had the end live event, we actually went into the black hole, of course, so that's really interesting. Chapter 2 and Chapter 3, which actually also makes perfect sense when you think about it. There was 2 further mythological figures from the Greek mythology called Apollo and Artemis. Now, if I'm not mistaken, Apollo and Artemis in Greek mythology were both twins, and apparently they also didn't get along, as far as I understand it. I think they always tended to like fight each other. And when you think about it, in Fortnite lore, the Chapter 2 map was actually on top of the Chapter 3 map, and vice versa. So when we had that event where the map flipped upside down, that actually again made perfect sense. So Chapter 2 and Chapter 3 basically were on top of each other, and obviously that actually made perfect sense as well. Now, the current map that we're currently on, Chapter 4, I think went by the code name of Asteria. Now, Asteria actually makes perfect sense. So when Chapter 3 ended, Chapter 3, of course, was destroyed by one of the known enemies, and actually caused the map to completely be destroyed, and we had to rebuild the map using broken fragments of the actual map to construct the map that we've got today. Now, I think, if I'm not mistaken, Asteria also suggests like the stars or space. So that's really interesting. So that's where we currently are. We currently are in space here, guys. So that's really interesting. Now, the alleged Chapter 5 map could potentially have a theme around Olympus. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I think Olympus was a place that kind of resembles a POI. If I'm not mistaken, I think it was in Chapter 3, which actually was meant for Aquaman, but didn't really kick off well with the Fortnite community. So, but we'll have to wait and see. But Olympus could potentially be a good theme for the Chapter 5 maps. So that's really interesting there, guys. Let me know what you guys thought of that in the comments box down below. Now, over the last 24 hours or so, I believe we've got some further teasers. So if I'm going to show you a look at Fortnite's official TikTok account. Now, I've got this rather interesting 10-second clip. So as you guys can see, we've got, I'll see if I can put this on, see if I can get this full screen. There we go. So as you guys can see, we've got what appears to be somebody riding a raptor around the Fortnite island. But if you look in this image, top right hand corner right here, you will notice that there's actually what appears to be a first person perspective. So of course, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, there was mentioning of Fortnite potentially going into first person. Either in next season or potentially in Chapter 5. Let me know what you guys thought of this in the comments box down below. Keen to hear what you guys' views and opinions are of that. So, first person, considering we've got, like, of course, everyone knows Call of Duty's in first person. I think there's various other games that are in first person as well. But I would love to see Fortnite in first person. So it'll be interesting to see how that works out. I'd love to see how that works in build mode, to be quite honest with you, but zero build would make perfect sense. So, keen to hear what you guys' views and opinions are of that in the comments box down below. Also, according to Fortnite's official Instagram account, we actually received this image with a description that reads, "Cameras, guards, vaults, and the best team in the business. Are you in?" So as you guys can see, we've got this rather interesting crescent moon type shape, what appears to be some sort of eclipse that's going on. Now this would also make perfect sense concerning the teasers that we recently got over the past few weeks, where certain content creators actually received some rather interesting images, apparently from Fortnite. I'll see if I can get the English translation one that somebody received. Actually, just before I go on to those teasers that I was talking about, we've also got these official images which came from Fortnite's official Twitter account, showing the letter F with Fortnite, with all sorts of lasers going all over the place on that, and this is a rather interesting banner, again with lasers on it as well, so that's really interesting. Now this was the teaser that somebody called Shock on Twitter, who actually recorded a video of this global teaser, the very first global teaser that we got for promoting Fortnite Chapter 4 Season 4. Now, he actually got a further message, which I believe, if I'm not mistaken, said, thank you for adding to my collection, signed somebody called Kuji Datura. Now, if I'm not mistaken, Datura is kind of like a Latin name, if I'm not mistaken, for moonflower. So we could potentially say, obviously we've got everything, something suggesting maybe a blood moon coming to the Fortnite map. But that's really interesting there, guys. Again, let me know what you guys thought of this in the comments box down below. So that's really interesting. Now, I mentioned about the potential Chapter 5 going along the Greek mythology theory that I was mentioning about earlier on in this episode. Now, if you look very carefully, there were some survey images that actually surfaced online from a recent survey conducted by Fortnite, with all these rather interesting images on top of that. So, as you guys can see, these are future potential skins that may be coming to Fortnite. So Artemis would make perfect sense, because I can't remember if it's Chapter 2 or Chapter 3, but one of them was codenamed Artemis. Athena was Chapter 1, which would also make perfect sense. So Aphrodite, that could potentially be happening. Apollo, that was another code name for one of the maps. Ares, Hermes, Hades, which looks pretty cool. Hephaestus, I don't know if I'm saying that name right at all. Medusa was actually an individual from Greek mythology with a head resembling, a knoll of hair resembling snakes. Minotaur, again, that would make perfect sense. Cerberus, of course, the three-headed dog from hell. So that's nothing to do with Fluffy from Harry Potter, by the way, guys. So make sure you guys make yourselves aware of that. Artemis, again, another potential skin there. That we'll have to wait and see on that. Persephone, Hermes, an unknown skin, and a Greek outfit. So, but we'll have to wait and see what happens with this, guys. Let me know what you guys' views and thoughts of this in the comments. I hope you guys did find this video rather interesting. If you did, smash the thumbs up button. Just before I finish off and wrap up this video, there's just something that I've just thought about and just noticed. But if you go back to this image which came out earlier today, you can actually see what appears to be the drum gun. So that's really interesting there, guys. I want to know what you guys thought of this in the comments box down below. Will we finally see the return of the drum gun coming to Fortnite? But we'll have to wait and see. These images also appear to be maybe something to do with Mega City, as a guess, or potential new POI coming to Fortnite. Considering we've got like a little skyscraper here, or what appears to be a large building of some kind. Trying to zoom in on these images, but this could potentially maybe something to do with spies or heists. Now, the only conflicting story we've got with heists, because we've already had that in a previous season. So, but considering all the lasers showing on Fortnite's official social media, it could be potentially be happening again, but we'll have to wait and see. Let me know what you guys thought of this in the comments box down below. Like and subscribe, hit the notification bell so it's an upload. Make sure you guys use my code DeathMonkey992 in the item shop. It does disappear after every 2 weeks, so make sure you guys keep running it back in, and I'll see you in the next one. Until then, peace out.